You know, in the years I've been in this building, I've dealt with a lot of lobbying groups and a lot of lobbyists on many sides of many issues. Some I agree with and some I haven't agreed with. And they've almost always been straightforward and honest about their positions. But I've found over the years, and I've said this publicly and I've said it privately to many people, and I want to be very careful how I say this, because there's a lot of people, including I'm sure people up in the gallery here, including some of my constituents, that genuinely believe that this is a good idea. They feel in their hearts, and I think it's because they've been subject to propaganda. Because the official, I'll call it astroturfed opposition or support for bills like this. And I want to read briefly an email that we all got. It was a form email, just as an example. This is in support of the bill. I want you to support this so my babies can go to public events and school safely. That's part of the rationale. Assault weapons, and by the way, do we know what assault weapons are? Because the term assault weapon was actually poll tested by the 1992 Bill Clinton campaign. That's where the term came from. There's no such thing as an assault weapon. This bill tries to define one, but we'll get to that, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just a scary sounding word. Assault weapons are high-powered. What does that mean? All guns are high-powered. What's a low-powered gun? Does anybody know what a low-powered gun is? Semi-automatic firearms, well, most legal firearms are semi-automatic, intended for use on the battlefield. Well, that's false. This is not about automatic weapons or machine guns. They're designed to kill as many people as possible, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I mention all this because I'm not going to name the person. This person, I'm sure, believes what they wrote me, and it's false. And it was given to them by the organizations that have poured a lot of money into this state and other states, and if this bill actually passes and becomes law, will disappear tomorrow and move on somewhere else. I am opposed to this bill, not just because I'm a strong supporter of the Second Amendment, which I've always been, but particularly because it's frankly, and no disrespect, Rep. Knight, I know it's your bill and you pass it, it's not personal, but this is stupid. It's a stupid piece of legislation that will do absolutely nothing. Read what it defines an assault weapon as. Yes, it will cause the banning of a number of different existing guns in this state and prevent the future sale of many. But there are ways to make rifles that have the same killing capacity as what we're banning. It will do absolutely nothing to prevent any of the tragedies, and that's the problem. You want to talk about emotion? Chairman Craven, with all respect, I was at the same hearing you were at with the police chief from Newtown, and the man was an absolute wreck, and I would have been too if I'd seen what he went through. But you know what? My childhood friend lost his son in that massacre. And I'm still opposed to this bill because the emotion of this and that incident have nothing to do with the merits of this bill. Chairman McNamara told a story earlier. It was horrific. A man who pled insanity shot 4 of his former co-workers with a hunting rifle. Has nothing to do with this bill. What will this bill actually achieve? Absolutely nothing except to make criminals of a lot of existing gun owners. And by the way, I don't know how many people in North Smithfield and Boroughville own weapons like this now, but I can guarantee you it's quite a few. I bet you the number of people, if this passes, who are either going to give up those weapons or comply with this July 1 thing, I could probably count on the fingers of one hand. Because they're not going to respect this. People who support the Second Amendment are not going to respect this law. It is a toothless law. And it goes to what Rep. Sanchez was getting at earlier. The police in my area, I'm not going to speak for them, but are they going to really enforce this? Yeah, if someone who flaunts it in their face, I'm sure they will. They're going to have no choice. And are they going to have a policy about not supporting? I'm sure they're not going to say it either. I bet a lot of them own guns just like this. In fact, I'd be surprised if any of the police officers in this room vote for this bill, which tells you something right there. I guess we'll find out later. This is not going to be enforced in my part of the state unless it's waved in someone's face. But you know what's going to be? It's going to be another thing when some kid gets jammed up on some minor drug charge but has a weapon that might be legal now but is suddenly illegal and has the threat of up to 10 years in prison. And the Attorney General is going to be able to use that to leverage the people in this room who are always out here. And I often agree with you, by the way. I'm not being sarcastic. The people in this room who are often about protecting people who are charged with crimes, about due process, about not having people in prison, about diversion programs. Where are you on this? Because those people you're trying to protect are the ones that are going to be punished under this law, if anybody's punished at all. This is a stupid piece of legislation that will accomplish nothing, but it'll make a lot of people feel good. And I'm going to conclude with one last thing, Mr. Speaker. I've had a lot of people over the years, because this bill gets put in all the time, in my district come to me and say, Brian, we got to do something. This is terrible. They want to ban assault. And every single time I've had a conversation with a constituent and gone through what these bills actually do, they realize that it's dumb. I'd rather have people be honest, and here I'm talking to not all the folks up there, maybe some of you. I'm talking to the Moms Demand national groups and the AstroTurf funding that comes into this state. If you want to ban all guns, just say so. Just say so. Stop with this nonsense that we're banning assault weapons. Just be honest about what you want. I may not agree with you, but I'll respect you.